All right, guys, I'm going to go through problems 31 through 35 today. All right, so this one we have an inequality with distributive properties, so I need to do the distributive property first. So negative 5 times m is negative 5m, and then negative 5 times positive 1 is a negative 5. All right, and then so you remember, okay, when I have a negative variable, I have to flip the sign. So the sign was facing to the left. I have to flip it because it's a negative. All right. I want to flip the sign. Now it's greater than or equal to, and then we have 23. All right. So to solve this, I want to get rid of the negative 5 by doing the opposite. So I do plus 5, so that's 28. All right, and then I divide by my negative 5 here. All right, which would be, and again, we got a negative and a positive, so it's going to be a negative. All right, and we did have to flip it, so that is A for that one. All right, let me erase that. For 32, okay, this is a probability question, so it says Paul has a spinner with 4 colors, green, yellow, blue, and orange. Okay, he spins it 60 times and records each color. All right, the results are below. It says Paul will spin an additional 450 times. How many times should he expect the spinner to stop on blue? Okay, so usually I use a proportion for this one because we have blue and we have total spins. So he had 14 out of 60. Right, we want to know how many blues that would be out of 450. So I can put 450 on the bottom here. We want to know how many blues. All right, so I can cross multiply. So 60 times x is 60x. And then I want to do 14 times 150 on the other side. So that's 6,300. And then again, I want to get x by itself. So to get rid of the 60, I want to divide it over to the other side. So that gives me 105. So that would be D. All right, erase that. Let's go to 33. All right, for 33, and again, these ones are pretty difficult. We did a couple of these in class. All right, so it says circle M has a radius of 7. Shortest distance between P and Q on the circle is 7.3. All right, so really what they do is they give me the circumference here. All right, so I'm going to put that on the outside so you know. So what we have to do, says what's the approximate area of the shaded portion here. All right, so again, they don't give us a whole lot of information here. They do need the area. All right, and they also gave us this partial circumference. So what we have to do is we have to do a proportion comparing the circumference and the area. All right, because those are kind of the two things. It's the only two things they gave us. All right, so they gave us, for instance, the circumference of the part of the circle, which is 7.3. All right, and we can figure out, for the part, we want to figure out the area. All right, and then we can figure out the circumference of the whole circle and the area of the whole circle. All right, and put that on the other side. All right, because we're going to compare the part to the whole, and that will help us figure out the part of the circle. All right, so for the whole circle circumference, I remember that circumference is 2 pi r for the formula. So I do 2 times pi times r, which they did give us r is 7. So I do 2 times pi times 7, and that should give me 43.96. That is our whole circumference of the whole circle. All right, and then we can also find the area since they give us the radius of the whole circle. So the area of the whole circle, remember that area is pi r squared. So I do pi times 7 squared. All right, and that would be 153.86. So again, I'm comparing the circumference in the area. I'm doing part of the circle compared to the whole, and then we can figure out the part of the area since we already know the full area. All right, so I cross multiply. All right, I'm going to erase some of this so I have some more space. So 43.96 times x is 43.96x. And then on the other side of the equal sign, we'll do this 7.3 times 153.86. All right, that gives me 1,123.178. And then I'm going to divide by 43.96. All right, and that's going to give me 25.55, which we would round that to 25.6, and that would be C. Okay. All right, let me erase that one. All right, for 34, it says Nicole wants to conduct a random survey. We actually talked about surveys yesterday in class. Which survey sample would give the most accurate results? All right, so she wanted to do a survey opinions of students at her middle school. So it says random students as they enter the school, students during math class, random 7th grade students during lunch, and teachers in the 7th grade hall. Well, probably the best fit would be A, just because, again, we want it to be random. And then as people enter the school, it's going to be all different grade levels. All right, if I'm looking at students in math class, okay, that's probably just going to be one grade level, so we're not getting a good variety of students. All right, if we're looking at C, that's only 7th grade students, so again, not a very good variety. And then again, if we're looking at teachers in the 7th grade hallway, that's again 7th grade, it's only one specific grade level. So this is probably the best because it's random. And, as people enter, there's going to be different people from different grades. So A would be the best survey for that. 35, it says teacher divided the class into 2 groups of equal sizes. 3/5 of the first group are right-handed. 80% of the second group are right-handed. Okay, which fraction of the class what fraction of the class is right-handed? All right, so in the first group, all right, we had 3/5. All right. And then in the second group, we had 80%. So I'd probably want to convert that. And if you think about it, I can make it into fifths here. All right, like 80%. You probably either want to convert that to a percent or convert that to a fraction. All right, so 80% is actually, since I want a common denominator here, I can get 80% out of 5 because 4 out of 5 is 80%. All right, so if I add those together, I got my 3 plus 4 makes 7. Okay, so 7 out of 10. All right, so the first group was 3/5, and then we want to add that to my second group. All right, and that was 4 out of 5, and that would give me 7 out of 10 for that one. All right, so this is 36. So it says this graph shows the time and distance traveled for two objects. Which statement is true? All right, so then we kind of want to look at, I'm looking at the graph. I kind of want to try to figure out where they meet. All right, for both of these. So for object one, here's one that I can see that it crosses perfectly. All right, also right here is another one. And then right here. So, you know, you're going to do your y divided by your x. So your y divided by x, wherever they meet, they're all going to give you the same. So for object one, it's 30 over 20. All right, which again, if I cross off zeros, then that's just 3 out of 2. All right. And then for object two, okay, I want to look at a point where they cross. Right here is one that they cross. All right, also right here. Oops, sorry. Set up a little bit. Right here. All right, but again, now it's 20 divided by 30, so it's almost like they're backwards. This one's 20 divided by 30, so this one is 2/3. So the first object, 3 out of 2. The other one's 2 out of 3. It says, which statement is true? Object 2 travels 6 fifths of a foot per minute more than object 1. Well, this is, well, we want to at least get a common denominator out of here to show how much more they are between the two. So for this one, if I make them out of 6, so times that by 3, times that by 2, okay, that would give me 9 out of 4, which is 5/6. Okay, so object 1 is 5/6 more. So we want to look which one is that. All right, so we know it's not the 6/5, so it's not A. And that one is 6/5 also. All right, so object 2, it's not traveling faster. Object 1 is traveling faster. So then it would be D for that one. All right, 35 says Jamal, Gary, Charlie, and Brian are going to stand in a line, one behind the other. In how many different ways can they stand in line? Now, this one is actually a permutation. All right, so for permutations, all right, I mean, you could do a table for this. It's going to take you a little while, though. You do how many people there are. Okay, so 4 people can stand in line in the first spot. All right, in the second spot, somebody's got to stand in line first. So that means 3 people can stand in line second. All right, third, same thing. Somebody's got to be in second and first. So that means two more people can stand in third. And then for fourth, somebody's got to be first, second, and third. So then there's only 1 remaining for 4. So I can do 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And that's 24. All right, so this problem is it's called a permutation. All right, it always kind of works for that. You take how many people there are, and really you kind of subtract 1 from each one and multiply as you go. For 38, it says, what is the value of y when -5 equals y minus 7 divided by 9, all right? So for this one, again, we want to get y by itself, all right? So the first thing we want to do, can't do anything until we get rid of the division bar. So we want to get rid of this 9. Okay, remember we do the opposite. So it's division. We want to multiply it because that's the opposite of division. Okay, and that will cancel that out. So 9 times -5 is -54. All right, now that I got rid of the 9 on the bottom, I'm going to erase that. And now what I have left is this y minus 7. All right, and then remember I want y by itself, so I want to get rid of the -7 by doing +7. All right, and that would give me -38. -45 plus 7 is -38, which is C. All right, let me erase that and do 39. For 39, it says, which choice has a value that is closest to the value of the following expression? All right, so we do have subtraction here, so we want to get a common denominator for this one. All right, 12 doesn't go into 40, but I believe that it goes into, well, I know one thing it goes into is 120, because you can times that by 10. All right, so if I times that by 10, that gives me 170. 17 times 10 is 170. All right, and this one I'd want to times by 3. So I'd want to figure out 49 times 3. So that would be 27. Carry my 2, and that'd be 147. All right. So for me getting the common denominator, I would subtract 170 from my 147. That would give me 23. So that's 23 out of 120. All right. And it says, which is the closest? I don't think I can simplify that. All right. So I kind of got to figure out, for instance, if it was 20 out of 120, for instance, I'm going to round it. Okay. I could divide both of these by 4. Or maybe even, no, I can divide by 5 actually. So I can divide them both by, oh, actually, no, I can divide both by 10. All right, so if I divide that by 10, oh, even more, I can do 20. Just thought about that. So I can divide both of these by 20. 20 divided by 20 is 1. 120 divided by 20 is 6. So it's closest to 1/6. So I kind of got to round, kind of get a close answer to that to see what it would be. So it would be 1/6. All right, last one. All right, so it says the equation is y equals 6.75x models the cost in dollars to purchase X pounds of steak at grocery store 1. Table shows the cost to buy different weights of steak at grocery 2. All right, which statement is true? So basically what this equation is telling me is that the unit rate is 6.75, and we can get that by doing y divided by x. All right. Usually when they do a table, they just go in order. All right. First one's x, the second one's y. So if I take, for the second part, if I take 15 divided by 2, that will give me the unit rate for the second grocery store. So if I do 15 divided by 2, that's 7.5 or $7.50. All right. That's how much it costs for 1 pound. So grocery store 2 costs a little more. So we want to look at what it says. It says the cost of steak at grocery store 1 is 75 cents less. All right. That's actually the answer, because if you look, if I take these and subtract it, that is 75 cents. All right. So, and it is less, so that would be correct. So I don't have to go any further. So that one would just be A. It says the table shows the number of points 2 teams scored in 5 games. What's the difference in the mean absolute deviation of the 2 teams? Okay, so remember this stands for the MAD. All right, and for the MAD, we first want to find the mean of each one. So for team 1, I do 51 plus 47 plus 35 plus 48 plus 64. Add that up, that's 245. And then divide that by 5, because that's how many numbers there are. So that should give you 49. So 49 is the mean for team 1. I'm going to do the same thing for team 2, 27 plus 55 plus 53 plus 38 plus 41. It's 214 divided by 5. That's 42.8. And we're going to round that to 43. So remember, for MAD, you can always round it to the nearest whole number. All right, now the second step is to take these mean numbers and subtract it from each number in the set. So let's do team 1 first. So I do 51 minus 49 is 2. All right, remember, when the mean is higher than we want to flip the order so I get positive. So I want 49 minus 47 for the second one, which is 2. Then 49 minus 35, it's 14. 49 minus 48, which is 1. And then 64 minus 49, which is 15. All right, so then I got 5 numbers here. I want to add those up and divide by 5 again, and that will give me my math. So 2 plus 2 plus 14 plus 1 plus 15 is 34 divided by 5. Should give me 6.8. Okay. All right, and then for next one is, let's see, oh, I erased it, so it's 43, so it's 43, right? So we want to do 43 minus 27 is 16, 55 minus 43 is 12, 53 minus 43 is 10, 43 minus 38 is 5, and then 43 minus 41 is 2. So then I'm going to add all those up. 16 plus 12 plus 10 plus 5 plus 2 should give me 45, and then divide by 5 should give me 9. So the difference between those two is about 2.2, okay, which is closest to A. All right, so it would be A for that one. All right, then for 42, it says Daniel earned $8 per hour at his job. He works 35 hours each week, and then he received a 5% increase. How much more money did Daniel earn each week after the pay increase? All right, so what I can do is I can do $8 an hour times 35. So that gives me, if I do 35 times 8, okay, that gives me how much you made for the week. So we made $280 for the week. All right, now if that's increased by 5%, all right, we want to take $280 and times it by 5%, and that will give me how much more money he made, and that's $14. So that would be B. All right, so remember, a lot of times with percents, you're just going to multiply. Probably 90% of the time, if not more, you're going to multiply the percents by the numbers. All right, for 43, okay, here we have another statistics one that is talking about the range. All right, now luckily these ones are in order. All right, so remember the range is just the highest minus the lowest. So the highest score is 94. Lowest score is 52. So I'm going to take 94 minus 52, and that's going to give me 42. So that's going to be C. All right, for number 44, that's a surface area question. So remember, for surface area, I want to find the area of each individual shape. So the two triangles, this is a triangular prism. So I have a triangle here and a triangle here. Those two will be the same. All right, and remember, for a triangle, we do base times height divided by 2. So the base is here for the height. Okay, usually they draw that up and down, so that's 3.5. And then I want to divide it by 2. So 4 times 3.5 divided by 2 should give me 7. So I'll write it here, and then I'm probably going to erase it. But I got 7 and 7. So the two triangles are each 7. Okay, I'm going to just keep those over here so I know that those are 7. All right, then we have 3 more rectangles to do. So I got to do the bottom rectangle here. All right, that is the 4 times 5. Okay, so that's 20. So the bottom rectangle is 20. So I could say bottom right here. Bottom is 20. Okay, here's the two triangles. Two triangles were 7. All right, then I got the side triangles now, or the side rectangles. There's this one, and then the back one here. They're both rectangles, and they're both actually going to be the same. All right, and these actually happen to also be 4 times 5 because this is the slant height. The slant height is 4 and then 5. So those are actually both 20 as well. So then I want to add everything up to get my total. So it would be 20 plus 20 plus 20, that's 60. And then plus 7, and that would be 74. So that would be B. Okay, so I want to add all those up. All right, so remember for surface area, you're just finding the area of each individual shape. There are 4 shapes on that. There's 2 triangles and 3 rectangles. All right, and then for the last one, this is a probability question. It says the probability that a person in a certain town has brown eyes is 2 out of 5. A survey of 250 people from the same town was taken. How many people would be expected to have brown eyes? So if I'd set up a proportion for this. So it says if I have 2 out of 5, okay, we want to know how many people would have brown eyes out of 450. All right. And then to solve this, I would cross multiply. 5 times x is 5x. 2 times 450 is 900. And then I just want to divide that by 5. So 900 divided by 5 is 180. All right, which would be C.